Volunteers are a really important part of the National Deaf Children's Society's events. There are a number of different events that you can volunteer on, including day events for children and young people, residential events for both 8 to 15 and 16 to 18-year-olds, and family events. We're going to give you an idea of what to expect at each so that you'll know what activities you're able to help with. Whichever event you get involved with, you'll have different duties depending on your volunteer role. You may be a group supporter, a communicator, or an additional supporter who gives one-to-one help. We run a variety of one-day events for children and young people between the ages of 8 and 16. They take part in a programme of activities which are usually focused around sport, creative or outdoor activities. What do our volunteers get involved with?
Our one-day events include outdoor Get Active days, Get Creative days, sports days, football tournaments and family fun days.
These run in different venues such as activity centres, sports centres or community halls.
As well as taking part in activities, children and young people have the chance to meet other local people of their own age, develop teamwork skills and increase their self-esteem and confidence.
Parents don't usually attend these events unless it's a family fun day. Sometimes though, if there are spare spaces, hearing siblings might come along too.
As a volunteer, you'll supervise children, help lead games on arrival and on breaks, and encourage the children to get involved with the activities. Do bear in mind that the activities can be adventurous and sometimes you might get wet or muddy, so dress appropriately.
Volunteers are supervised by activity coordinators. Accommodation isn't usually provided, so you'll be expected to travel to and from the event on the day, but there will be lunch and refreshments.
Day events are great events to do as your first event. That's what I did, and I really enjoyed it because I got to meet lots of different people and do lots of different activities during the day.
On a one-day event, what I really enjoy is when you arrive, you meet the other volunteers. It's really interesting to see other people, and there are always interesting activities like crafts and arts going on. You can have communication breakthroughs there, and then when you go home, you've got some great memories, and you think, oh, I can't wait to do it again.
The National Deaf Children's Society runs a variety of residential events for children between the ages of 8 and 15, consisting of weekends and 4-night midweek events.
The residentials range from first-time away weekends and multi-activity weekends or weeks to themed events like Mission Adventure and Discovery Weekend. They're held in activity centres or residential schools.
At the event, the children will take part in sports, outdoor or creative activities or a combination of these. Some may be water-based or even take place off-site.
The events aim to increase the self-esteem and confidence of the children and develop their teamwork skills.
Our role is to encourage and support them, and includes taking part in the activities ourselves, which might mean getting wet and muddy.
The children are there without their parents, so our job is to supervise them at all times, including meal times, free time and night and morning routines. We lead games and reassure shy or homesick children.
Volunteers are supervised by an event management team of National Deaf Children's Society staff. You'll stay in the same venue as the children, usually sharing a room with another volunteer of the same gender. You may be sleeping in a bunk bed and normally share bathrooms.
All meals and refreshments are provided and you'll have plenty of breaks. If you need an additional break, do request this from the event management team.
On residential events, the things I really enjoy are the fact that you do different activities every day. So maybe in the morning you're doing football, and once that's finished you go over to do some swimming. Then it might be that the next day is a drama activity, which is really interesting. Or perhaps in the afternoon you do something arts or crafts related. There might be playing netball or sports involved. It's really great, and it's very motivating for them to get involved in all these activities. It's impossible to get bored on a residential event. You're here, there and everywhere and always really busy. I know it's hard work and you can be tired, but it's really worth it. I really enjoy the residential events and I realise I miss everybody involved when I get back home.
The National Deaf Children's Society also runs residential events for older teenagers between the ages of 16 and 18, consisting of weekends and 4-night midweek events.
These events include Young Leaders, Mission Discovery, which often runs at the same time as events for younger children, and Explore the Outdoors, which includes conservation work and very physical outdoor activities.
They're held in activity centres or residential schools, where the participants take part in sport, outdoor, creative or personal development activities.
Some young people will be working towards qualifications like the John Muir Award or Sports Leaders UK certificate, which might involve leading activities for younger children.
We're there to support them during the activities and workshops, encourage them to become leaders and help with their efforts to achieve certificates or awards.
We also oversee mealtimes as well as morning and night routines.
Volunteer supervision and provision of accommodation and subsistence is the same as for residential events for younger children.
I've been on a variety of residential events, and I think the thing that I enjoy most with all of the residential events is you get to really see the children start to develop and grow in confidence as that weekend or as that week goes on. And especially if you've had a child who has been particularly nervous about an activity at the start of the event, overcoming their nerves and achieving that, and the difference in that child at the end of the event and the smile on their face when they're going home, I think that's what does it for me.
The National Deaf Children's Society runs events for the whole family. The main purpose of these is to share information with parents about deafness and their child. We also run National Council events for families involved in local deaf children's societies and networking days for these local groups.
While parents attend the information sessions, youth support volunteers assist staff from an external creche company in running a creche for deaf children and their siblings.
Our role is to help supervise the children, run basic activities, play games and keep babies entertained. We don't feed the babies and will never change nappies. That's the responsibility of the creche staff. You can accompany a child to the toilet, but only with one of the staff members.
National Deaf Children's Society team members are on hand to supervise volunteers, and on information days there will also be volunteers from the families team delivering sessions for parents.
Family events can be on a Saturday, a Sunday or a whole weekend. They're often held at hotels or conference venues, so children spend their lunch breaks, evenings and overnight with their parents.
Lunch and refreshments are provided, but even for weekend events there won't be accommodation, so you'll be expected to travel to and fro each day. Creche staff should arrange breaks during the day, but if you need an additional break then just ask.
I really enjoy doing the family information days because whilst the parents are off learning new things about their deaf child, they know that their children are safe, they've got access to communication and they're having a great time in the creche. And plus I get to play with glitter.
The things I enjoy are meeting the various children, and obviously we have varying ages. We might have children with different needs like autism or Asperger's. Working in a creche can be very hard work, but you could be signing with children who are babies or aged 2 or 3. You're sharing experiences with them through the day, communicating, perhaps doing something creative like face painting or some craft activity, and lovely, interesting activities that you can encourage them to come into, or ball games. I really enjoy helping them work together and take turns with each other. That's what I really enjoy.
Thank you for watching and thank you for volunteering. The National Deaf Children's Society would not be able to run all of these events without your help, and whichever kind of event you help out on, have a great time.